Hello.
Hello, everybody. It's Heckin'
Absolute
Tuesday.
banger came on the moment we went live. You don't have your Spotify on the right layer.
Is it not on the right? Oh no, it's because it's not playing. It hasn't registered a source. Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
Once I click play, it'll register the source.
Once we do things correctly, everything will be fine.
It's because the interest. This is a little behind the scenes of how streaming works. The way that Streamlabs is detecting the Spotify window is by name, but Spotify actually renames the window based on which song it is playing.
Yep.
So it detects Spotify New Barktown, which is why New Barktown is always the first song to play on the stream, because otherwise it doesn't detect the source, and I would have to go in manually. It's why Spotify used to be a pain at the start, because if you had just immediately put it on shuffle and it was like playing Rule the World.
That's why you sometimes forget to put it on shuffle.
Yeah.
So you have to deliberately not.
Yeah, the first song to play has to be New Bark, and then it gets hit on shuffle, which is why New Barktown is the most played song in my entire Spotify library. Because it has to be song number one for the stream.
Hey,
everybody! Everybody's coming in. Hello! I didn't say it yesterday, Big Man, but thank you so much for helping me hit the first sub goal that I ever hit. Big Man gave a gift sub to mine.
There was curls, so I bought health. How dare you imply that I don't take care of myself?
Have health. There's a new feature. It's not a new feature. I'm just slow. I realised that you could make a little bar down the bottom to have like a little goal. So I set it, and we actually hit it. Yeah. And I fully didn't register it because I think something in my brain thought that it was just like, it probably won't happen. And then it did, so I had to increase it, so heck.
Good work. Good work, gang.
Hell yeah. At some point, I'll have to make it that something actually happens if we hit these goals. Yeah. Also, for anyone curious, because I also didn't understand this, the sub goal tracker is in sub points. I'm doing the air quotes, but you can't see.
Yes.
Which is why the sub count on the stream is different, because a tier 3 sub is worth more points, and Twitch tracks your points.
The reward is the friends we made along the way. There we go.
It definitely is.
Furry model for Spook. Yes.
I could do it. We joke that we've got to do their, government assigned persona.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it. So yeah. So that's a fun little thing. But yeah.
Yep. How we doing, chat?
Yeah, how are people doing?
We just got here, and I feel like we're already in the middle of things.
I sure am.
Yep. You're doing more texturing.
Yeah, I sure am. I'm very pleased because literally, like, the last little, coat of polish needs to be put on, and it's already just the simple act of putting the little bit of texturing on is already making it look fantastic.
It does look like it's activating my texture brain.
Good. That's the point.
Texture catalog access.
Yeah, actually got, like, instead of it being a green line, the zip is actually a zip, and it looks like a zip, and I'm like, good. I need to turn Spotify down because I turned it up because I was listening to it.
Making fun little video assets for a fun project. Nice, nice. Lurking at work, valid.
Awesome, we love it.
Full disclaimer, chat, I am in a little thing that us neurodivergent people call hyperfocus hangover.
Oh no, yeah, I get that.
I'm on day 2. I'm just leaving it, I think. But man.
Oh boy.
You do one thing for 3 days straight, and then suddenly your brain doesn't know how to do anything anymore.
That do be how it be. Yes.
It says something I saw on your little stream preview, the Photoshop loading thing come up, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Was my instinctive response to be like, I accidentally opened
No, that's the Photoshop has long been banished from my hotbar. But yeah, if you'd been in the stream yesterday, you would have been able to see me, especially towards the later bit, of being like, "Oh, I have to do this bit in Photoshop, not in Clip Studio, because Clip Studio won't handle it correctly." And that last hour was just me being like, "Photoshop, why are you so antisocial towards everything?"
Just being angry at it. That's the Photoshop experience.
Yeah. Why does a Java developer need glasses? I don't know. I don't know.
Can't see the joke. Where is it going?
I don't know. I'm trying to look
for somewhere.
I'm trying to look for some sort of like coffee pun or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Maintain their hipster status? I don't know. Your speedy recovery. Thank you, thank you. Full disclaimer, I didn't hyper-focus on something useful.
Oh no, a hyper-focus is very rarely useful.
I did 100% of video game.
Hey!
I did 100% of video game in 3 days, so there's that. Immortality is very good. Oh, I know, I saw the tweets. No one should follow me on Twitter.
If you want to, it's right there under their name.
But don't. Immortality is a ride. Immortality was more of a ride than I thought it would be, and I didn't think that was possible.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
Like, I was braced for madness, and it was even more mad than I ever could have been prepared.
I fully thought that you were just going to say I was braced for impact.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Because, like, every time you go into one of those games, you're like, okay, what is the crazy thing that I need to work out? And I knew I was in trouble the moment I started playing it and realized I didn't have to take notes.
Oh.
Like, because all the others, they work on, like, a search engine based on keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take pretty exacting notes because you want to remember, like, exact words and phrases.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do the entire
but Immortality is entirely based on what came to Sam Barlow like an angry vision from Apollo this time. I don't even know how to explain it.
I'm sorry.
But this time it works on frame matching in images.
Uh-huh.
So you just click on a part of an image and it will find a piece that matches the selection, like so like say there's like a funky jar in the background of this one image.
Uh-huh.
If you click on it, it will match you with the first other instance of a jug, or at least that jug, in the database.
Kills me every time.
So you have to sort of just go deeper and deeper and deeper into the frames that you're given.
Mm-hmm.
The episode.
Yeah, it's so mad and it's so hard to talk about.
Listen to my laugh right at this.
Yeah. On one level, it's about 3 movies that were never released with the same actress in them. On another level, it's about the way that people can... A lot of Sam Barlow's games have how people can be bad to each other. But then on another level, it's about, is art good? Like, ethically, is it good?
That is a debate. I shouldn't laugh. It is actually a valid debate.
And then there is another layer which I cannot talk about.
Oh.
It's a good laugh.
Because people deserve to find that one out on their own, because Jesus Christ. I got to the end of the game. I will say this, I got to the credits, I hit credits, and I still had no idea, like, what was left. Like, the stuff that I found out after I hit credits, I had no conception of when I hit credits. There was a whole mechanic in the game that I hadn't worked out by the time I hit credits.
Fair enough.
Which is difficult for a game with a pause, a rewind, and a click.
Huh. It does sound like madness, I will give it that.
It is true madness. And it does that thing that all Sam Barlow games do. I said I wasn't going to go off about this game, and we're less than 5 minutes into the stream, and I'm already here.
I knew you were lying.
It does a thing that all Sam Barlow games do, where they just sort of present you the premise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the premise is always like slightly interesting in and of itself. Like 3 movies that were never released is a good like plot hook already. It's like, why? The fact that they're all like at least like 10, 20 years apart from each other. Another good question. But like all Sam Barlow games, you get like, you literally just like, okay, I'm just gonna like chip off a little bit of this mystery. In Telling Lies, it's like, okay, here's a guy, he's got 3 different lives going on. Okay. In Her Story, it's like this woman got arrested for something. And you chip off a tiny bit of the mystery. You're like, okay, what's going on here? And it just grabs you. It's like the moment you start digging even a little, the moment you like slightly brush off the topsoil, it's just like, oh my god, there's so much going on, and what the fuck happened there? And it's like, they're so good at giving you a question and having to make you do laps to get to the answer of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the time you answer that question, you have 85 other questions.
Yeah.
And it's so, you just keep digging and digging. Like, you feel insane. You just keep digging and digging. And Immortality was interesting because the other 2 had like, and intentionally had more of a detective-y feel.
Yeah.
Where you were like trying to get your, like, okay, get the words right and like what was the case here? You know, what's the, you know, what's the crime?
Yeah.
what went, you know, how did we get here? But this one is literally like, there's no like motive for you. It's not like you're trying to find wrongdoing or anything. It's just literally your curiosity and a database. It's like, it's like the game knows that you will want answers.
That's pretty good. It's like going on a 5 a.m. Wikipedia dive.
It really, oh my god, that's a great analogy. Yes, it is. And it's like, you know, if you've ever been, I don't know if you've ever got really into this specific genre of Wikipedia dives, but I can tell you that Sam Barlow has, of like actresses in the dawn of Hollywood who like died mysteriously. It has that feel of Wikipedia dive where you're like almost in like a true crime area where you're like, what the fuck happened here? But and because it's 3 movies, but you can like, because they were all filmed, like they have some overlap in who made the films. Hi Tess. Because there's some overlap, like sometimes you'll click on background actors or, you know, people who do the beginning and end slates, and they'll have worked on one of the other movies. And so when you think you're going to get another scene, another clip from the same movie, you'll instead go completely to like the end of the timeline, basically.
Oh, okay.
And it's like because all of the games do this, where you end up jumping around the timeline a lot. But in this one, in Immortality, it's really interesting because they're 3 completely different movies, aesthetically, tonally, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and also like, again, they're pretty decently spaced apart, and it has all the behind the scenes. So like, you start having to put together not only like what the plots of the 3 movies are, but also like what was happening in the background of each of those movies that made them fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then what went wrong. You know, like, so you're like trying to put it together on like 3 different levels, and you're doing it for 3 movies at the same time. And something plugs into the ADHD brain of like, there is so much here for me to find, and it's all here, and it's accessible. And it just like ate me whole for 3 days.
It bloody sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, no one saw me for 3 days because I was literally just playing Immortality dawn till dusk.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, nice one, nice. But I had a bit of an advantage because the first movie in the sequence is based on a book I have read. I did tweet about this, I know,
Mhm.
but it's based on The Monk, which is like the birth of Gothic literature. So, and I've read it. So I was like, the moment I heard them be like, I got access to like a behind the scenes interview, and it was like, it's amazing how we took this 18th century novel, and at this point I'd established it was something to do with a monk, and I was like, oh, is this based on The Monk? And I just like, I was like, my brain opened. I was like, oh, this game's gonna be fucked, because The Monk is a deeply fucked piece of literature. It is insanely messed up. I was like, oh, okay, because all Sam Barlow games that have some sort of like classical art reference, like Telling Lies has a bunch of like, because you get like a fake desktop in Telling Lies.
Mhm.
In the recycle bin is a bunch of Monet paintings. Hey, Naren.
Hello.
So I was like, oh no, if the reference for this game is The Monk, this is about to be real dark. And I suppose it is dark, yes. Yes.
Is
is
it
a dark
dark?
game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We've established that my gauge for this is non-existent. But it was so wild, and I got so invested in it. And it was just like, yeah, I spent 2 full days just piecing together movies and like the vague, like, what is the timeline? Like, how does this start and how does this end? And on day 3, the first thing that happened is that I hit, is it day 2? Day 2 or 3. The first thing that happened is that when I logged back in, I hit credits. And then I spent the next day having everything I thought was going on in the game completely overturned. It was madness, and I can't recommend it enough. It comes with so many mature warnings. If anything I have said interests anyone, please look it up on Does the Dog Die before you even go near it. But holy shit, I had a great time. But basically, since the moment I finished that, and I like 100%ed it as well. So like, I didn't just finish it and like be like, I'm content. It's like, no, I have to do everything. And to be fair, I got most of the way there without looking anything up, and then I just needed 1 or 2 pieces of help. I just like, I woke up the next day like, oh no, nothing in the world is real. Uh-oh, John. I was like opening and closing games, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I could see, and I saw on Twitter, because you were just like, which is why I sort of slid in, and I was just like, hey, friend.
Yeah, you asked me to play Unite. Like, if you had asked me 10 minutes earlier, that would have been like a lifesaver. But I'd literally just...
I'd only just spotted it.
Yeah, I'd literally just had a bath and decided to go to bed.
It was good. Bed was probably what you needed.
I didn't sleep.
Maybe should have
you
taken
guys-
up that Unite game.
Yeah, I know, right? Did you guys try out that Dear Wolf Switch game? We haven't tried it yet. We haven't played Blanc yet.
No,
But
so
soon.
we are thinking, we thought that we'd stream it.
Yeah.
So when we try it, you guys will probably be the ones to know.
Yeah. I know Sam and Dodger played it, but I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. That seems like a sweet game for them to play.
Yeah. Digimon World Games continue to deny the existence of power creep. Fair.
Now, is that power creep on the player side or power creep on the NPC side? Because one is more of a problem than the other.
Power creep on the battles of NPCs.
Ah.
And yeah, in the meantime, since I disappeared off the face of the earth, Pokemon and Elden Ring decided to drop their DLC.
Yes, so we finally can bring it round to my specialist subject.
Yeah.
I say that. I mean, I did the streamer thing of I freaking sat and watched it live on stream and
Yeah,
live
you guys
reacted.
saw it, yeah.
I did the
I
mega
did
stream
the
thing.
classic me interacting with Pokemon, which is that I went onto Twitter after it had all settled down and just scrolled backwards through it.
you let me filter out all the trash and just tell you the important bits.
I let Cerebi filter out all the trash.
Yeah, poor Cerebi Joe. They had a bad day.
Poor Cerebi
yesterday.
Joe. Mwah. My love.
Cerebi Joe had a bad day yesterday. Oof.
But what's your initial thoughts on the DLC? Blue?
It's interesting. I'm curious because in terms of our time frame, if we consider that like Scarlet and Violet has come out in November, much like Sword and Shield did. Sword and Shield released its DLC in the sort of spring-summer time, whereas for this DLC they're putting it as fall-winter. So they are giving themselves more time, which I think is great. But it's
good. If Scarlet and Violet needed anything, it was more time.
But it's interesting that even though it had a smaller time frame, I'm pretty sure when it was announced, the Sword and Shield DLC at least had a little bit of gameplay footage. There was no gameplay footage in this Pokemon Direct. So I do slightly wonder how well formed these DLCs are presently. Because obviously Game Freak and Nintendo are under a bit of scrutiny these days for just how the quality of these things and stuff. When it comes to the content itself, the artwork that we saw, because we didn't see any game footage, just promo art. The promo art looks great. I think
Violet continues to be done dirty.
Yep. Violet continues to be the lesser of the games. The new Suicune dinosaur is amazing. I love it. I can't wait to go catch it. I'll probably do it the weekend.
Put me out my misery. The Violet one is. Just say the name of the Pokemon. It's driving me insane. Virizion. Thank you, Jesus. My brain kept saying Xerneas.
No,
but I was looking at it like that's not Xerneas.
It's not Xerneas.
I know that's not Xerneas. It doesn't have any antlers.
No, it's Virizion. Which is, Also, well, the robot one is called Iron Leaves because all the paradoxes.
That's how they do it.
Iron something.
Which is fascinating because that's like not the most sci-fi metal in the world.
No.
Not even like adamantium. Like, give me some spices.
Well, character limits in coding.
Yes, true.
Did you know that's the reason why Feraligatr doesn't have an extra E in it?
You couldn't pay me to spell Feraligatr. I had you could tell me that Feraligatr had 8 E's in it and I would believe you.
Yeah, if you search Feraligatr, it ends TR, whereas obviously the word gator would go TER. And that is because Gold and Silver had a character limit and they couldn't fit the extra E in. So Feraligatr is technically missing an E. So it's Feraligatr.
Right, good for her.
Useless trivia. That's the one I need to bring up whenever anybody's like, what's the random piece of trivia you know? I just feel like Feraligatr's missing an E.
Do you know how long I spent thinking about that for Dragon Age? But to be honest, the Dragon Age devs took that one out from under me, so I didn't need to. That was the whole revelation about mounts in Inquisition. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Oh my god. Slight tangent, I swear we'll come back to Pokemon. When that was going around on Twitter, one of the devs was like, hey, the mounts in Inquisition don't actually go faster if you sprint, you just get little white lines. Because the Frostbite engine didn't allow us to go over a certain speed limit. So we just put a bunch of zoomy lines on it to make it feel like you were going faster.
Go fast lines, let's go!
And it destroyed the fandom for days. Do not speak to me about the mount truth. Yeah, but that meant I didn't have to come up with the most obscure piece of Dragon Age lore that I know, which is probably very obscure.
This is one of those things where you have to draw the parallels between game development and DMing.
Yeah, oh yeah. They released a whole bunch of tweets about how jerry-rigged Inquisition was, and
to be honest, Origins as well. Everything is held together with spit and hope.
And apparently dwarf models at 90 degrees.
About the one from, is it Half-Life, where it's like, there are no trains. They just put a train model on a human being because they couldn't get it to work. So trains are hats.
That's Fallout 3.
Fallout 3, yeah. Right. I knew it was something along that. Yeah, trains are hats. Trains are hats.
Anyway, Pokemon.
We love game design hacks. But yeah, So yeah, the theming I think looks great. I'm more interested in the first one. I think that the idea behind it is great.
Yeah, there's 2, right?
Oh.
I
Yeah, there's
only
2.
know...
Ooh. Door movement. Just checking the edges of my textures.
Sorry, carry on. I know that one of them is meant to be like a school trip.
Yes, that's the first one. That's the one I think looks most interesting.
Right.
It says it's a school trip, which I think is great. It looks very Japan themed, but it's
Yes, I
interesting.
saw that.
But it's interesting that they haven't specified yet where it's a school trip to, and it's obviously there's new Pokemon and stuff, which implies it's somewhere new. Like it didn't mention that it was like to Kanto or to Johto, which are the technically the parallels we have for Japan. Or anything like that. And then the second one, it says is an exchange student thing. So you go to another school, which is apparently called the Blueberry Academy. And I said on the stream that I'm very upset that they get blue uniforms and I don't. Because I'm from the goddamn...
Suck it, Violet has to have something.
Yeah, because I'm from the goddamn Orange Academy. So yeah, we've got the orange, grape, and blueberry.
Yep.
But, yeah, that one, I didn't really... Other than that, we didn't really get any vibe about what they were. Which...
So far, we are 0 for 0 on what we thought the DLCs would be about.
Yes.
Like me and you had guesses at what we thought the DLC was going to be about, and we are currently completely wrong on both counts.
Well, the problem is that I wouldn't say we're completely wrong, because we know so goddamn little.
That's true. Yeah.
Because a lot of people, because like one thing that a lot of people were assuming was that there's that blank space up in the northeast of the map where a lot of people were like, surely that's where we're going to go for the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
That could still be the case, because we don't know where either of these take place. One is apparently in a different region, but we don't know what region. And one is an exchange trip. So I'm like, well, is an exchange trip also going to be in a different region, or is that still technically part of Paldea, just a part that we've not been to? So that could be in the plateau.
Or is it going to be like a hub so that we can get to these other places?
Potentially. But the name of the DLC is called The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. And we both love Area Zero. Area Zero is great.
Area Zero is our shit, yeah.
We love Area Zero, and...
We loved a fucked up area.
Yeah, we sure do. But also
an area that's really been through it.
We liked having our team with us as well. It was we both said it was very D&D party vibes of having them all with you, just like
and
talking
bantering.
absolute shit.
It was Dragon Age vibes for me, of like people behind you talking shit about each other and going over their traumas very publicly.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I find it interesting that it's an interesting choice. Again, I wonder if this is a case of like, oh shit, we don't really have anything to show. Because obviously, for anybody who found and read the Scarlet or Violet books, there was the sketch and the lore about
the horrifying dumb thing
about the thing, you know, the mysterious Pokemon that they said had like the disc for a shell that apparently inspired the time machine at the bottom of the area, and the crystals and stuff. And then they just go ahead and show this concept art for this kind of like turtley creature with a shell made of a crystal.
I love that little turtle.
It looks so cute, but I'm like, surely that should be a major reveal for the end of the DLC.
Well, if that's what that is.
If that's what it is. Which is why I'm a little bit baffled.
That was not what I reached for. Because the thing in the Scarlet Violet book looks horrifying.
It does.
Like,
I don't think it's incomplete.
Yeah, I would think they would not make it into a cute little turtle.
Yeah, because the interesting thing, we haven't fully established what's going on there, because the books respectively also had the sketches of the legendary dog parallel paradox thing and the Musketeer trio parallel paradox thing. Neither of them look like the legendaries that we now have in the game.
Yeah, unless we get like a Ultra Sun wormhole sitch.
Yeah. So that's another thing of just like, well, is it a red herring, or is it leading to something else? Of like, well, we've got the Suicune.
We'll find out.
Are we going to get a Raikou and an... But some people are literally like, well, because they look like fusions, are we actually going to get like a Suicune, a Raikou, and Entei, and then we're going to fuse them to create the thing that is the picture in the book? We also don't know that either.
We don't know shit, basically.
Yeah, we don't know shit. So
but there's some cute art.
Yeah. So for the first one, the exchange trip with the little teal mask, very cute little guy. I'm curious to see more of it and what
the
story
turtle was
for it
definitely
could
the
be.
more striking one for me
Mm.
of the Pokemons,
Yes.
but it's telling that I only remembered the premise of one of them.
Yes. Again, so little
The
wisdom.
only fusion I accept is Fletchdoof.
Yes.
Correct.
We stand Fletchdoof.
We stand Fletchdoof in this.
But
one.
yeah, it's just one of those things of when they announced the 2 DLCs for Sword and Shield. I believe from the immediate announcement, I was already like, oh, okay, the second one is the one I'm going to like the most, and I was correct. Whereas with this one, because there is actually so little information, I'm like, well, I don't know which one I'm going to like more, because I don't know anything about
I
them.
don't know anything about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I need people to know, by the way, if it sounds like me and Blue are having this conversation for the first time, it's because we are. Because the only previous conversation we've had about the Pokemon announcements was Blue messaged me saying Ninetales in all caps.
Yes! That is correct! Ninetales confirmed.
Yeah.
I thought you should know.
Yes, and then I then looked at the list and discovered that Milotic is also on the list, so...
I told you, I gave you the important information.
Everything else we save for stream. So
Yeah.
many conversations me and Blue have nearly had this week and been like, save it for stream, save it for stream.
Because, as you know, whenever we hang out for like a weekend or something, stream comes around and it's like, hi chat, we have nothing to talk about because we were
We're
talking
gonna sit
all
in total
weekend.
silence because we never shut up. But yeah, and at the same time, just kind of low-key under the radar where all this Pokemon stuff was happening, Elden Ring was like, hey, our DLC is also happening, and everyone was like, huh? We weren't expecting to hear from you right now, sir. Tiny Turtle could be a Cosmog kind of Evo. I think it's more likely to be like an Arceus in that it could be any type.
Yeah, because if you look at its shell, it literally has the icons for all the types on its shell.
Yes.
I mean, it very much looks like the Terastal Pokemon.
Yes.
It looks like it. It's got the little.
It also looks more futuristic, and the other one looks more past to me.
Yes. It's the thing. Hang on, this is something that a lot of Pokemon theorizers have spoken about. Terastalizing, which is.
We'll let Blue go off about Pokemon lore, but we'll talk about Elden Ring and Oakheart in a minute.
Terastalize. Yeah, if I grab this picture of Pikachu. Which is in every Terastal headpiece is this on the front. A little hexagonal piece that appears to have like a little face in it, honestly, is what everybody sort of calls it. Is like, let's be honest, it kind of looks like it's got a couple of little eyes peeking out in it. And that kind of looks a little bit, but not quite, like the middle part of the Terastal creature's shell. It's that kind of hexagonal shape. Because the center of the shell has like a white bit, which kind of looks like the little hexagon. So this Eevee has also got the little hexagon in it.
Yeah.
And so is that one. And so is this one. They all have it. So I'm gonna, I guess maybe it's literally a piece of its shell. Don't know. We're gonna find out what the lore is for that.
It's a lair action.
It's a lair action. It could be. Also, the little mask dude has crystals in its mask as well. Crystals for Pokemon especially, is very much indicative of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much a crystallization of infinity energy. You know, the magic of Pokemon universe.
The magic of Pokemon.
God, flip the fucking counter down. It's been 0 days since Blue talked about infinity energy. God damn it. How many times do I have to tell people about infinity energy on this goddamn stream?
Have you heard?
Did you know? Did you know that Pokemon actually does have magic? They just don't call it that.
But yeah, so things be coming.
Yeah. Pokemon Sleep, it's just, I mean, a lot of this will be repeating what I said yesterday. It's hilarious that Cerebi Joe can finally go to bed and he fucking needs it after yesterday. Other than that, I have a sleep tracker. I don't think I really need to gamify my sleep.
If it's free, I'll use it.
I might, yeah, if it's free, I might download and open it. I'm not buying this stupid peripheral. I already have a sleep tracker.
No.
I already have a Pokemon Go Plus. It's it's big and bulky and whatever. But, I like my sleep tracker because I literally don't have to think about it because it's in my watch. I just have to wear my watch to sleep and I do that automatically. So, and my sleep data is just there if I want to look at it. Just posted up in the game chat, based on the image, someone help me pick a team. Let's see.
Oh, well, I like Dark Elf, personally. Blue's gonna say Skaven. Because they're little guys.
I guess. This is one of those, this is my problem with Warhammer. If I look at it, I'm like, I mean, I don't like any of these, really, but I guess if I have to pick, I'll pick Skaven. I'm just like, I guess Skaven.
I guess Skaven.
I guess Skaven.
Furries and edgelords understood. Look at the stream again.
Yeah, do you wanna reevaluate what you're looking at?
Zoom and enhance.
God, I need to work out how to program in a zoom button. So I've seen streamers have a zoom button. I'm like, well, surely that's something I can do somewhere.
Is it in there somewhere?
It has to be some sort of function, but I don't know what it is. Furries, yay.
Skaven it is.
So yeah, the TCG promo box was very funny to me because it was styled like a goddamn Bond movie and like featuring a Bond movie starring Seto Kaiba. If you didn't watch it, you need to go and watch it immediately. Because it was
that's like my activation phrase.
It was so silly. It was literally just an ad for a piece of TCG merchandise that they were selling, but that's how it was advertised as, and it was so funny to me.
I need to tell the people something. It's very important. Which is that the way that the Pokemon Company styles its TCG stuff, like virtually, and like the website, the digital version, even sometimes the cases, is so Yu-Gi-Oh to me, it's almost insulting. Like, specifically like Yu-Gi-Oh GX, like, it has the same kind of slight sci-fi or like tech advanced, but still normal. Like, they have so many similarities in aesthetic that, like, I think it's interesting to me. But it's so funny.
Yeah,
it does not surprise me that Seto Kaiba said no, basically.
Look, I'll put it up on stream again because I mean we freaking watched it yesterday, so I'm fine with showing it again. But like, just watch.
This year.
Also, I'm sorry that you were cursed with the animatronic Pikachu again.
Please have a look at this video.
It's not as bad as the Jacob and Julia one. I do wish it wouldn't blink like that, though. It is Seto Kaiba.
See? It's Seto Kaiba!
Is he gonna beat his dad at chess by getting 52 squares or something shitty?
No, it's Pokemon.
This bougie ass fucking...
See, this James Bond Seto Kaiba Pokemon!
Whoever did this had been watching too much Yu-Gi-Oh! All you need is each of them for every single move they make to really over-explain every choice they're making and why, all the way down to their, like, emotional motivations for playing the match.
Look at him draw that card and tell me that's not straight from Yu-Gi-Oh!
That is Yami Yugi!
The two fingers on the card and the draw.
I'm a boy.
It's so silly. It's so silly. I love it. It's so dumb.
The only other thing that could have made that more like Kaiba episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is if it was actually in 3 parts, each an hour long.
Oh, you know someone's gonna make like a parody or something for that.
Oh, wait, Octo.
Octo, please, yes.
Octo, we need a Kaiba voiceover. It's very
Please
important.
grace my Twitter page.
Saying what a card does but doesn't do in the real game. Yep. Because the cards in the anime don't have any text on them, so why would they be beholden to it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'd be like some bullshit to be like, you know, my Charizard burns the energy off you, and it's like, you can't do that. That's not how it works.
Where does it say that I can't?
That's not how the game works.
And then you get... I can't say that.
But yeah, that was so funny to me. But as I said on my stream yesterday, I was like, also, by the way, you will not be able to buy this because the scalpers will immediately purge the shops of them.
Oh, for sure.
It's got another reprint of base set Charizard in it. It's going to be gone. You won't be able to find it. Yeah. And also, it'll be as expensive as fuck anyway. It'd probably be like... Something like that's probably going to be like over £200 in the shops, and then all the scalpers will buy them and jack up the price to like 500.
Yeah. It'll be as much as a PS5.
I was just like, you won't be able to get it. It's so funny to me though.
Oh yeah.
The presentation was just
chef's kiss. Anything that's presented like Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm a big fan of because Yu-Gi-Oh is absurd.
Well, yeah, I just love the fact that I could just be like, did you see the Seto Kaiba James Bond TCG? And then that's what it was!
That's what it was. That's 100% what it was. There's literally an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, the original series, where it's basically Kaiba's tragic backstory, but part of it involves him playing his adopted shitty father at chess. That is almost shot for shot that. He also demonstrates how he ousted him from the company by using Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and that's also not that. Not that.
You can't pre-order
This is
it
so
anymore.
hardcore.
It's already sold out. Yeah, again, it's got a base set Charizard in it again.
This is so hardcore. Yeah. This Blue is on the very, very outskirts of an insane collectors community.
Oh God, yeah. I just said to Spook today, I was like, it was like Nintendo would be like, behold, base set Charizard, and we'd be like, Nintendo, this is the 5th time you've given us base set Charizard.
You got us the new Pokemon DLC. Yes, I can confirm I have the new Pokemon DLC. You don't have base edition Charizard. No, I do not have base edition Charizard. I have the new Pokemon DLC. Okay, so you're going to give me the new Pokemon DLC and not base edition Charizard. Yes, give me the new Pokemon DLC.
Base edition Charizard. God fucking damn it, that's so true. It's so true.
Blue is the insane collector. I've met worse.
No, I'm really not. I'm very tame.
I can't believe I just did that whole good place bit. Top of my head.
But the thing is that if we went back and like watched the Pokemon Presents from like the last few years, they'd all have base set Charizard in them somewhere, because they always tend to do like a nice little funky intro, which is like a look back at Pokemon history. So it's like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, base set Charizard. It's like, yes,
it's their pride and joy. It's their favorite son.
Yes, we know.
It's the 3rd time this song's come on the shuffle. Oh shit, I should say, by the way.
What?
I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh, fuck, okay, this is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah. Panic just came on my... Spotify Shuffle, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, this time next week I will be at Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, let's go, gamer. That's sick.
I will not be here for this stream.
Awesome.
I will be back for Dragon Age, but I will be hungover.
Okay.
Not like hungover from drinking, but from bad choices. Other bad choices.
You can always tap out and I can do another cult stream.
No. I've realised how much of Dragon Age we got left to go. I'll be there.
Pikachu and Charizard are the two most overhyped Pokemon to the point I'm not surprised they didn't make Let's Go Pikachu and Charizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to drink some water after that.
Yeah. You did so much speaking. Good job. Good job.
Thank you, Spook. That wasn't me.
I was about to say good job. I'll tell you, chat. A crazy thing happened to me today. Which is that my brother got a car today. Which is so fucking weird. My brother's younger than me. He owns a car.
There you go.
And I'm like, I'm a very open-minded individual. But I do think it should be illegal for people younger than me to be able to drive.
How do you think I feel? On Saturday, I went to go hang out with some friends in VR. We ended up in a public room where I was in a group talk with about 6 people, and it was just me and my friend were the only people that hadn't been born in the 2000s. The pair of us died a little.
No.
We were talking with these people just normally.
You gotta leave.
And then it was literally just like, oh yeah, I was born in 2003. I was born in 2006, and I just stood there and I was like, what?
This is not a safe space suddenly.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, you're children. And they were like, what? Fuck no, I'm 20. And I'm like, shut up! Stop talking!
Suddenly I need you to be so quiet.
Yeah, it's like, I was born in 2003, I'm 20, and I'm like, I don't care! You're a child!
Old Lady Curl's angry at the children having cars. He's my little brother. He should not be in control of a vehicle. He's a baby, a child. He's not. He's nearly as old as me.
He's a grown man.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, if you don't hear from me again after tomorrow, it's because my brother crashed his car.
Fuck.
Oh, it was a weird
boy.
day here.
Okay.
Yeah, what subjects do I have in reserve? Oh yeah, Elden Ring DLC got announced. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's much like the Pokemon thing of they just released some art and was like, surprise, it's happening. This is kind of what it's going to be about, and it was like, great. It's kind of about what people thought, I think. Which is cool. Reminds me that I need to have an account that's actually beaten the game. And then, oh yeah, Okart was the other topic we were going to talk about.
We actually got to play D&D.
We got to play D&D. I ran D&D.
Have you opened up Pokemon Go recently? I mean, I opened it up this
We
morning.
open Pokemon Go every day.
I opened it up this morning when me and Spook went out to do our shopping, but that was probably a full 12 hours ago because of time zones. So if you're asked, when you say recently, if you mean within the last 3 hours, no. They took a picture of you and slapped it on the splash page. Okay, as far as I could tell, the splash screen was the same this morning, so
It might have changed.
It might have changed now at this point.
But yeah, I finally wrapped up a goof session that I ran for jokes 6 months ago. I never finished. And then this week, I think, we go back to Okart proper.
I know, God. I was
Oh my god, you know what we should talk about?
What?
Fucking Matthew Mercer in the dome.
Yo, Matthew Mercer in D20.
Matt's in the fucking dome, people. I was talking to Das about this. I want him to run something that's not Exandria so bad.
And there
I
we go.
want Matt to have the D20 experience of coming into the dome and just running something completely batshit. Just run something that would never fly at your own table.
Yeah.
And I don't know what table he's gonna have. Everyone on Earth is like, please, they either want Oops or DMs, which people have been talking about for ages,
yes,
which is like
Oops,
Brennan,
all
Abria,
DMs, I want
Murph. Or they're like, I don't care who's at the table as long as Emily Axford is there.
Yes, yes.
Because they want to throw Axford at
Emily
Matt.
on Matt. Do it.
We're so mean. I think honestly, if I've watched enough of like Matt, Brennan, and Abria, Matt's probably also like, I want to run for Emily so bad. Give me the challenge.
I was literally watching a thing. It was in my Instagram feed because Brennan had reposted it, and it was literally Abria and Brennan talking about digital dice versus physical dice.
Yes. Oh my god,
which is a wonderful conversation. If you guys haven't seen it, it's
have you salt tested all your dice, Brennan?
Yeah, Brennan was there, just like, I don't trust the algorithm. It's got to be real. And then Bria was just saying, like, have you salt tested all your dice, Brennan? Have you? And he just doesn't have an answer.
It's a bit
obviously.
in a venturing party where they give you opposite. It's like the debate team thing of like, here are your stances. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you just have to defend it with your whole life. Yeah, it's so funny though. Abria and Brennan are just a great duo in anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would truly watch them do anything on Earth. World Beyond Number, episode 1 is tonight, by the way. But yeah, Matt in the dome. We all knew it was gonna happen.
It was gonna.
I just don't think anyone thought it would be now.
Yeah.
Also, they've announced it now for May, which is insane because they normally announce them like month to month.
That's a big old run up, is what that is.
They knew that people would want to know.
That's a hey, if you want a few months in advance to save up to pay for Dropout, you're
gonna need it.
Here's a few months in advance to save up for Dropout.
Yeah. Also, watch Never After while you're at it, people.
I mean, I probably
Never
won't.
After. You shouldn't. I hate that Never After is so hard to pitch because it's becoming more. I'm gonna be eating my words this time tomorrow, I'm sure, but it's becoming more tame as it's going along, and it is getting crazier in terms of plot. Like
saying
the
it's
plot of
more
Never
tame
After
literally sounds like fighting words.
Yeah, I'm tempting Brennan at this point. I lived through the Nightmare Forest. I lived through anything. Fantasy High, man. You've got that to look forward to, yay. But yeah, it's so not where I thought the story was going, and I'm so glad. No context spoilers for Never After. Are we the baddies? Oh, it's fun. But if that's not your jam, I think at this point, if someone watches, like, if I don't have to sell them on watching a tabletop RPG, I think I could recommend literally anyone a D20 show.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I haven't even watched them all, but I can definitely agree, especially because Critical Role is obviously so well known, but it's so meaty that it's intimidating. And I'm like, yo, Dimension 20 is so much more digestible. It's a lot more smaller, it's edited so that some of the guff is taken out, it's a lot more digestible for people who want D&D entertainment.
Yes. Hey, bud.
Hello.
Yeah, D20's so good. There's something on there that you will like. If you enjoy watching tabletop RPGs, something on D20 will be up your jam. from a Court of Fame flowers to Crown of Candy, you'll be fine. Yeah. I'm up to date on Never After. I'm catching up on CR. Because before my Immortality binge, I did a Final Fantasy crafting binge, and that required a lot of background noise. I feel like there was a topic that I had bookmarked in my brain to be like, this will be a good art stream topic, and I cannot remember it now.
That's always how it goes, though, isn't it?
Yep. Did I give you a Dreamlight Valley update?
No? Oh god, what's happened there?
Did I tell you that me and Mickey attempted a resurrection ritual mini?
No, you did not! I am so concerned about this game.
Okay, I need to establish something. At no point do they ever say that Minnie Mouse is dead.
Well, no,
right?
it's a Disney game!
It's a Disney game. She's just a ghost that jump scares you around town. But update, she's functionally she is dead. But the whole thing is that apparently it happened because everyone forgot about her.
Oh, because that's what the quote unquote villain is. It's the forgetting,
yes,
isn't it?
the forgetting. So apparently it happened because everyone forgot who she is, which doesn't make any sense because Mickey definitely knows who she is.
Yeah, because Mickey's always like, I miss Minnie.
Like his whole quest line is about getting him over his grief. But I think it might just be their nice way of being like, she's gone. And also she's the only character who's like that. Like Mirabelle, I got back, and she was just like in a pocket dimension that she made. Like,
what?
It's oh what?
I think you skipped over something a little bit there.
I need to go through like, okay, people who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley, a game that I don't necessarily recommend you buy, but is on Game Pass if you want a really surreal time. So there's a bunch of new people I found recently, and basically one of the quest lines while I was trying to do it, I encountered on the floor a gold doorknob. So I took it to Merlin, the other normal things.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Disney.
oh, that's Mirabelle's, it's for Mini Casita. And I was like, what the fuck is Mini Casita? It's literally just Casita, but smaller. And apparently when the forgetting happened, Mirabelle escaped by disappearing with Mini Casita. Like, Casita protected her by, like, making a pocket dimension. With just Mirabelle in it. But I managed to convince Mini Casita that the valley was safe enough, so the Casita rematerialized, and now I have Mirabelle.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this game?
It's so stupid. What else? I met...
Oh no.
Okay, I'll get to that. I did a few jumps. I was like, who have I recently added to my village? I was like, oh yeah. I met Wally.
Aw, blessed.
Wally has nearly made me cry on several occasions. And I want it known, I don't, and I'm sorry this is a hot take, I don't super love the movie Wall-E. And I never have. But I truly met Wally for 0.2 seconds in this game, and I was like, I would die for you.
She got it. She got Wally.
He's in a pocket, like, he's in his little pocket, which is a little part of his planet that he's just constantly doing the thing that Wally does, which is turning trash into bricks.
Yeah, just compacting trash.
And he doesn't talk or anything, he just beeps at you. But he's so friendly, and eventually you convince him to come over because there's more plants where you are.
Yeah.
Wally's best robot. I know.
Yeah.
But I went insane a little bit and got my friendship up with him really high, really fast. But now every time I walk past him or like near him, he has his own garden.
Oh.
He has his little house is like, because every villager gets their own little house that you put in the village. His is just like a little like, I think it's his like, from the movie, it's like the truck that he goes to recharge.
Yeah, he has a little like truck thingy.
But there's an area of the valley that I was always really confused about because it looked like a ruined house with a bunch of trellises, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I can't delete it, so it's not like rubbish. But then I got a quest line with Wally being like, he was like, oh, I want to do a garden, have a little garden like your garden. And so you give him that little area so that he has his own little garden. But the thing that gets me is every time I walk past him, sometimes he will just like zoom up to me and he will just hold out this little plant pot with a little sapling in it and just be like, it's for you. I'm like, Wally, I would do anything for you. Truly, no one else in this village matters to me a fraction of the magnitude. But no, that made me remember. I've been slowly unlocking new areas because I forgot there's so many things going on in this game that I forgot there was more to the valley than just the 2 bits I'd unlocked. Wally is Hurry now. Wally was always Hurry.
I knew someone was gonna say it. Bless the blessed beans.
The blessed. But I unlocked. Okay, I need to go back a couple of steps. So I had already unlocked the questline for Anna and Elsa from Frozen, right? But I can't do their quest because it requires a bunch of items that are like, I don't even know how I would go about getting them at the moment, which is pretty common in this game. It's like, it will let you see, a bunch of quest lines and be like, oh, okay, eventually I can get that person and that person, but you can't complete them until later. But I'd already found that. So imagine my surprise when I go into like the cursed forest area and I just walk into Kristoff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you here and not with Anna and Elsa in their little like Ariandel world?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, when the forgetting came.
This is how they all start like this, don't they? During the Blight. No, well, there's like 2 categories of characters so far. There are characters that just got the fuck out of there and are mostly normal, and characters that stuck around who are super messed up. Oh no.
So Kristoff falls in the latter category. So imagine I'm not that much of a Disney adult. So sometimes this game throws lines at me that just make me burst out laughing because I don't have the like magic and wonder that a child would. I'm a little bit apathetic to the whole experience. So imagine me, it's like late at night, I'm on the wind down from Immortality. I walk around this forest and I walk up to Kristoff and I'm like, what happened to you? And he was like, oh, when the forgetting came, me and Donald Duck went on a quest to try and stop the forgetting, and we chased a glowing purple man through this forest until he grabbed Donald Duck and dragged him through that dark portal.
I'm so
you walk through the portal, and Kristoff, by the way, is just standing there playing the lute. He's not doing anything. He's a Disney prince. He's not doing anything. So you walk through the dark portal and you exit into a forest full of mist that does the same thing the Dragon Age Origins Brazilian Forest Mist does, where it turns you around. And there's just a single duck feather.
Lost word, thank you.
I'm sorry. But there's just a single duck feather in the middle of the glade.
Disney does horror.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with that quest. I also met Ursula That was pretty normal in
Yeah,
comparison to most other experiences.
honestly, it sounds like she would be.
She is funny though because she just appears now that I've released her from her cave. She will just appear in any body of water sometimes. But like that includes like very small lakes that just look like hot tubs to her. She's a huge lady, so like
Yeah.
she'll just appear in these tiny little like 3 square ponds. It's so funny. Yeah, they all left us, yeah. One is JRPG and one is not, yeah. It's just, I've said this before, I'm not condoning anyone playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, but do enjoy the sheer absurdity of it. Because it's so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a game that's all like love and joy and friendship and find dream shards, and the way that you cure things is through happiness and joy. But also it's like, I found a note, I did put it on Twitter, being like, is this Never After or is this Disney Dreamlight Valley? It was a note that I found that was like, I woke up buried in the thorns. I dug my way out because the stinging of the of the points didn't hurt as much as my loneliness. It was like, what the fuck? I just found that. I take your Dreamlight Valley and raise you to Disney Mirrorverse. I believe that. It's just fun because, like, I spend most of my time in that game just playing essentially Stardew Valley. But every so often it just throws things at me. Oh, God.
Night night, sweetie.
Night owls.
Fuck you, Spook. This girl's writing for Disney now. God, I wish I had that Disney money. But no. It is someone who also, like me, doesn't really understand what dark is.
This is safe for kids, right? Right?
Again, it's the classic defense. Kids won't understand.
Yeah, there is that.
Mirrorverse made Woody hot. Woody is in Dreamlight Valley. I just haven't found them yet. I know a bunch of characters that are in Dreamlight Valley, but I have no idea where they are. Like, I know Ariel and Eric are in here, but I don't know where. I think there is, a whole... Oh my god. There's a fucking Cassidy skin for Woody. I would say Dreamlight Valley... Kills raised on Don Bluth films, I think. Oh god, I'm gonna have to Google that and make sure it means what I think it means.
It means like.
Oh yeah.
Nim
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Fun Gully.
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Kind of. To be fair, I say I'm not a Disney adult. I was kind of raised on Disney movies, which is why I fucking have a wealth of knowledge. But it's not dark. They won't be terrified if you give them a happy ending. Exactly. It is really funny to me though, because bringing the conversation back around to Never After, sometimes like Ali or Emily will ask Brennan which version of the fairy tale he's using. But the way that either of them ask is always like really absurd. It's like, oh, does she eat her sisters in this one? It's like, no, I'm not using that one. Those are the fairy tales I grew up with. Oh yeah, Frog, now I know what you're talking about. I don't know if Merida is in this game, but I hope she is. Might look it up.
Because it's Disney and it's early access, it's one of those things where it's like whoever isn't in the game right now will probably get added in
Probably
later.
will be. I know Stitch is in here somewhere.
Good.
I don't know where.
Good bean.
I'm literally gonna look it up because I
Eat me.
don't. I cannot emphasize enough that I don't.
Just
care.
a little creature.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy who sometimes destroys stuff.
Mother Gothel's in here?
I actually didn't know that. I think I saw someone's screenshot.
I knew Scar was in here because he's on the screen. He's on the loading screen. Grammy. Yep. Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Stitch, Scar. Rumored characters. Hit me with it. Well, yeah, assumedly we're gonna get the rest of the Rapunzel cast because that's generally how this works. I do this article says IGN says maybe Atlantis, and I actually think so because there's like a little side thing that you have to do for Ursula that like the moment I walked into the cave system I was like, is this from Atlantis? Because holy shit, it looks like Atlantis
It'd be nice
aesthetically.
for Disney to acknowledge Atlantis for once.
Yeah, for real. I have already internalized that they will never acknowledge Hunchback of Notre Dame ever again. And I'm okay with that. Girls play Drew by Valley but abandon her island and Rosie. Don't do this. Oh, Hana means space murder. Yeah, so far, none of my like fave Disney movies are in the game. Oh, I should also say, by the way, Disney will never acknowledge Hunchback. I also don't want them to ever acknowledge Hunchback. Because then, yeah, I don't want them to ever look at Hunchback again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking
they
don't.
they will never make that movie again, and I don't want them to try. The best modern, more modern, like Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame wasn't. The best adaptation of their movie is the musical version that the Deaf West cast did. That fucking slaps. Deaf Quasimodo. They will never have the balls to do Hellfire again. Amen.
Ironic that that's the song playing at the moment.
Yep. I fucking love Hunchback, man. My top 3 Disney movies are definitely like Hunchback, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, yeah, and then probably Sleeping Beauty after that. I'm designing Gecko Child. Wonderful.
Ooh, Gecko.
Cool. I literally have a project open that I said I would work on in the stream, and no part of my brain wants to do it. You saw me shrimp and Diglett.
That's the thing. My VTuber lets me slightly get away with shrimping, which is why I have the routine. Because yeah, I was also shrimping. That's because I'm also think I'm being a little too finagly because I'm like, you can see there's a seam there, and I'm like, yes, but you're going to look at it from here.
Where's? Where?
I'm like, there's a seam. Upset.
There are seams in clothes.
This is also true.
Posture is key. Yeah, my kneeling chair is here at the moment because I had to take a bath yesterday because I looked at my shins and truly from my kneeling chair it is just bruised. Gonna break it in. Gonna break your bones in.
So I reduced the strength of the multiply on this so that it would stay white, but in doing so, it's kind of lost a little bit of the detail. I think because it means it's lost some of the contrast.
That would be.
Up it again.
I will say, chat, to try and break my immortality burnout. I did start playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition today. Das is literally fine. I'm not going to wear knee pads every time I sit down.
Yeah, so
But,
so that makes it. This makes it darker. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. This makes it darker,
Okay.
but I think ups the contrast so the actual like fabric texture of it is easier to see. I'm sure.
But yeah, I should say I'm playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which first of all, my first time playing the Legendary Edition. And what a wild time. But I'm also having to play it with keyboard and mouse because it will not accept a PlayStation controller.
Oof.
because I'm playing it through Xbox Game Pass, so they won't accept PlayStation controller. But it is an adjustment, let me tell you, because I'm playing them in order. And also, I've only played the first Mass Effect twice in my entire life. So I don't really remember it very well. But man, there are some choice. The fact that they remastered the game, but they kept interact and sprint on the same button is a federal offense. They didn't have to do that. Also, so my canon Shepard for Mass Effect has blonde hair. And I was in the character creator and I was like, is there no blonde option? That's what? So I Googled it because I was like, maybe it's the lighting. Like, people have probably discussed this because I know what BioWare fans are like. I was like, what option is the blonde one? I just can't tell in this lighting. And they were like, there isn't a blonde hair option in the first Mass Effect in the Legendary Edition.
What? Why?
Who knows?
That's wild.
The reality is that it's probably just a bug or a lighting issue because in the subsequent games, one of the options is blonde, like gets imported as blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So like it might just be a lighting issue. And in some lights it does very much look blonde. But people kept posting, there's a codex in one of the Mass Effect games which talks about blonde hair dying out as a
oh my god.
among humans. And it was like well, like it doesn't exist. It was really silly. That was a thing I had to deal with. Is stream dead? I hope not.
I hope not.
I could see it.
No, it's still no. It says, Core, I think your internet's dying again because you're watching at work.
But yeah, that was a whole rabbit hole. It's so wild as well because I haven't played this character in ages. And all my, like literal years and years and years, I haven't played this character. And, like, all of the lore for this OC that I had buried deep, deep down because I haven't thought about her in ages just, like, came to the surface so naturally. Wild.
Yeah. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, if you're watching, I assume you're watching at work again, Core, and your internet's dying. This happens frequently. It's always you who's like, is the stream dying? And everyone else is like, no.
No. Yeah, weird time. I'm just shuffling between games at the moment. Was on mobile and stream just stopped. Yeah, that mobile will do that.
Yeah, that's mobile for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And also, with the slightest internet drop, it will do that. It doesn't believe in buffering.
No.
I say this as someone who watches Twitch on mobile a lot. Oh, I'm just saying this because it's literally just come on. Blue.
Yeah.
New Hosier music soon. 2 weeks.
Oh, that's topical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Given the memes that were being posted today.
I don't think you could say those were being posted as much as they were circulating on Tumblr, which is not the same thing.
Yeah, I remember that weirdly I've stopped using Tumblr.
Oh yeah, true.
Again, which is very weird for me. Like, I stopped using Tumblr and started using Twitter more, when really it should be the other way around.
Should be the other way. Oh, cool. That they've just put out the official art for that, that loading screen.
Tumblers are good for rocks and not much else.
Posture and hydration. Gross.
Anyone like to see the Gecko Child? Obviously! You can see the tags beneath the stream, right?
What kind of stream do you take this for?
Show me, show me, show me, show me. You know how much I like kobolds. You think I'm not going to want to see a little Gecko Child? You know how much I love kobolds.
What person says no to
Exactly.
Gecko art? Exactly.
We have taste here.
Oh god, this fucking project that I'm working on. The problem is, ages ago I had a burst of like working on this, but it wasn't like in order. So there was a bunch of sections I had ideas for, and I just did, and I just made like 4 different sections of it with no connection between them. And now I have to do the work of sewing them together in a way that makes sense. Domino. Oh my god.
Domino.
Yeah, that's a frog character.
Oh yeah.
What a sweet bean.
Ben. Can't stick out.
Look at the good
I can't
look at
stick
the
out my
good
tongue.
the good hair swoopies.
I know. Love their hair. Men.
You're gonna have the thing that happens with I'm gonna have the thing every time you post anything of them, Frog, is when I am playing Marvel Snap and I'm using Domino in a deck, every time Domino appears in my head, it's like, yeah, start playing Jessie J. I literally can't control it. It's just when I see the word, it's like immediate.
Normal maps.
Divine Soul. Yes.
Also Divine Soul.
Oops, all Divine Soul campaign when? That would be a nightmare.
Yeah. Did you ever get told about the Spooks Old Dwarf campaign idea?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't need to carry on the story.
I believe I have, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine was the Divine Soul, but I can't remember. It was a very long time ago now.
Red Dwarf campaign? No. You heard what you wanted to hear.
No, just dwarf. There was no red. It's just the dwarf.
Zero red, all dwarf.
Ah, my legs itchy just. Spook probably could run a red dwarf campaign if he wanted to, though.
Oh, yeah. Someone say Ogar.
He probably would.
Guys.
He'd probably want to play it, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
That's everybody's problem with a lot of things of like, oh man, I could run this campaign, but I'd also want to play it.
I think I might be a rare exception in that case, although there is a few I can think of where that would apply. If anyone runs a Narnia game, I can't run a Narnia game. I want to be in the Narnia game. Fuck, I would run a Narnia game.
I think a Discord game would be so fun, and if anything, it would
That would be madness.
If anything, it would be doubly fun if someone like me or Spook ran it, and we actually ran it for people who hadn't played Discworld, because we would just immediately, because we're so well versed in the lore and the mechanics of the world that we would just spit it out and regurgitate and be like, oh yeah, no, this is how this works in Discworld.
Yep. I didn't put a Dragon Age game on the my wanna run list. Dibs Aslan, you can't be God. I'm sorry.
Why can't we be furry Jesus?
You can't be. No, it's just Jesus.
It's furry Jesus.
You could say it's Jesus's persona. That would be correct. It's not Jesus, is what I'm saying. It can't be furry Jesus because that implies there's also Jesus. No, that's Jesus. It's his persona. Get it right.
You've put Fury Jesus, but close.
Diglett,
Jesus
you've accidentally got up against my Discord message at the moment. Do I need to explain that or
yes.
not?
Yes, I think you should actually.
So my current if people join Blue's Discord, you'll see it. But my current Discord thing
P.S.
is,
join my Discord.
In quotes, mods gay sus among us ? Attributed to the man Christ, Jesus. The mods gay sus among us thing was just the thing my brother said. He came in and my Discord was open and saw that I was the evil mod in your server. So he was the first words out of his mouth was mods gay sus among us, which is just a funny sentence. But the man Christ Jesus, God, there's so many levels of explanation I have to do. Before Christmas, a local guy came round who was from the local church, and he just kind of talked to my dad a bit, and he was giving out these calendars, right? And so we have a calendar from the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has a bunch of like religious quotes on it. No one in this house is Christian. But my dad doesn't care about that because he's a very functional man, and we needed a new calendar. So we used the one that's got like Bible quotes on it. But the one quote that's on there at the moment has something, and it ends with "So saith the man Christ Jesus." And it makes us laugh, and me and my brother laugh every time we see it, because we're like, is that like, you know, should there be a comma there, like Christ, Jesus, like it's a formal like form of like you would address it like Mr. Christ Jesus.
Christ Jesus.
But now we've just sort of started using it as a joke. So saith the man Christ Jesus. So when I typed in that I was gonna make my Discord message mods gay sus among us, he was like, well, you have to attribute it to the man Christ Jesus.
No.
Oh.
Am I the only one who actually doesn't want to play a fan game? I'd rather play something completely new. Maybe. Honestly, maybe. I'm not opposed to playing new stuff.
I mean, I would not want to play something that trod on... I'm going to work in So saith the man Christ Jesus somehow to someone. Be careful, but have fun.
You work in a hospital.
That's going to be a fun game. I wouldn't want to play something that like trod on canon in anything. Like,
right.
I wouldn't just want to be rehashing things that happen canonically in a series.
Oh no!
But if it was
I would
like
use the universe, I wouldn't just.
Yes,
I
that's what I
wouldn't just
think,
make
yeah.
a D&D game out of a Discworld book. I would just use Discworld.
No, I
the
wasn't
world.
saying you weren't. Thank you, God. Oh no, I've read the meme. Memes that originate from me and my brother are extra stupid because we only speak pure nonsense. But yeah, so like if I ran like a Narnia game, I would want to do it like in one of the other parts of the world during the Pevensey reign. Like they skip over a lot of the Pevensey's reign, apart from in Boy and His Horse, which is set in a different part of the world. So, like, it would just be like, I would basically get to do a lot of the world building myself. Because it's not a part that's super well documented about. Same with Dragon Age. It would, like, I would need some room to build my own thing in a world that I knew. But hell, my entire things I want to run list, none of them are fan things, so...
Me looking at Blood in the Sand and Warcraft sweats. We're not saying it's a bad thing! Nobody says that.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Age has their own RPG, so...
I fully plagiarized Matthew Mercer because I knew I would get away with it.
Oh, yeah. That's a premise of a novel I've written about extensively. Academic work. Not stealing from Matthew Mercer specifically, but doing a plagiarism because you know you're going to get away with it. I mean, the amount of things... That's why I said it's dangerous that my friends have... You know, people who haven't played Dragon Age in a while are watching Blue play Dragon Age for the first time, because you're going to realize all the shit I stole. The only reason I've been able to steal as much as I have from different things is because they're generally things that I don't overlap with people. How many times are we going to teach you this lesson?
Getting frustrated at the normal map again.
It's always this normal map.
No, normal maps are magical and they're frustrating. It's a way to it's an image that is data, and this is like light. It's like light and shadow data in a way. It's kind of telling the surface to have a bit of a texture when it actually doesn't. It's a good way. Games use them to save space instead of modeling each individual crease, which would take out a lot of polygons. You use a normal map. And the bit that's upsetting me right now is that this normal map, if I unslot it from the normal map slot and slot it into the color slots that you can actually see what it is, they're this pinky purple color. And the bit that's annoying me is that these two shoulder bits here, where I tried to model in a scene, so they represent sort of like a high bit and a low bit. So you've got like the pink and the blue. That sort of represent a scene on both shoulders. We've got it there, sort of a blue, pink, blue kind of deal, and then we've got it here, a blue, pink, blue kind of deal. Because I mirrored it. It's a mirror. It's one and the same. But for some reason, even though it's mirrored, I plug it into the normal map. One side has a very dark scene, and the other doesn't. And I'm like, but they're the same. Why is one really dark and why is one really light? It's just data stored in color format, and the color is the same color. Therefore, it should be the same data.
They're there. It's okay.
Normal maps are frustrating. So, yeah. So this is where I'm like... Because I've been like, because you're not supposed to do it this way, but I've been manually sort of tweaking this normal map by literally painting in the color. Which isn't what you're really supposed to do with more normal maps. Even though it is color, you're not meant to actually, like, paint them like a picture. It's something that a computer calculates, which you do via sculpting and this whole process, yada yada yada. But because the color can be translated into a data thing, in some places I sort of reversed engineer it with, like, clone stamping and stuff to be just like, well, just take this data and put it there, so it's the same. And in pretty much everywhere else on this model it worked where I needed it to, except for apparently on this scene, where even though they're the same, when it's plugged in, it's not the same. And I'm confused by it, so I'm now just sort of at the point where I'm like, well, it doesn't look great, because, you know, when I plug it in, it's like, well, one side very clearly has a dark bit, and the other side kind of very clearly doesn't, which doesn't look great, so I'm like, do I just try to sort of paint over and either paint in the seam on the one side, or do I paint away the seam on the other side? Because normal maps. What I need to do is put it into Unity as well, because Blender's render engine will not be the same as Unity's render engine.
Frog has answered you in chat.
What's your environment lighting? I don't have environment lighting, or at least I didn't think I did. It's just base. I'm showing how little I know about Blender's rendering engine, because this is a side of dev that I've not done a lot of. Right arm is more in light than left, also creases are more often handled as an AO or crevice shadow, light shouldn't get in there at all. It's just part of the normal map, isn't it? I don't have a light source in Blender at the moment, so it's just the default render engine. Which, funnily enough, I think is called Eevee, which I find hilarious. Rotate the model and so you can see if the scene goes away. I mean, rotating the model's not going to change anything. You've seen me rotating it.
Stop spinning the boss, you won't get dizzy. A real quote.
Yep.
A real quote from a person in a Crystal Tower run that we were in.
You're rotating the camera, not the model. This is true. Layout.
Sorry, if you saw me making a lot of confused faces at the camera, it's because I'm having one of those, I swear I'm an author, not a serial killer.
And I swear I do have a brain in my head, even if it appears that I don't use it. Everyone can ignore the last 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna sit here and drink some water and feel embarrassed.
Okay. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. So I've fallen down a rabbit hole of needing to Google a thing that's a very basic question, but it led me to like 3 academic papers. Oh shit, is this gonna come down to like shit about gravity? Oh, this is why I'm not a biologist. I hate you, Blue.
What did I do?
You'll know.
I mean, because you mentioned biology, I might actually. It was my favourite science subject.
It's my least.
My least was chemistry.
Oh, I liked chemistry at school.
I was bad, man. I was bad at chemistry.
The higher level I got in chemistry, the less I liked it.
And that's all you need to know about chemistry.
Yep.
Mine was.
To be fair, the reason I didn't like physics was because of how much math was involved. But all the parts of physics that weren't math were fascinating to me.
Yes, same. I got A, B, C, literally biology, physics, chemistry. I did very well in all of my sciences, so I could go forward with them, but I got progressively worse than biology was my favourite. Unsurprisingly, if you couldn't tell from like everything about me about, you know, animals and environments and things like that.
I got a B, a C, and a C. And you could all fight in the in the chat about which one you think I got the B in. But I will tell you that for my chemistry 2, because I had 2 exams per subject for sciences, so I had 6 total. But for chemistry 2, I will tell you I was in crippling pain the entire time.
Oh no.
It was my last exam. Why are we talking about the sciences? Because I've been listening, but also in Beat Saber. I had to Google something that led me to academic science papers. Yeah, it was my last one, and I did like something. I did a ridiculous amount of GCSEs, like not in terms of like subjects of GCSEs, but I had a ridiculous amount of exams for the amount of GCSEs that I did. Like I think there was a very few subjects where I had less than 2 exams per subject. So I did like and they were all in like a 3-week block. I think that's true for all exams in the UK. But it was my last one. And literally it was a thing of like, you went out the other door and you did not go back into the school. And that was it, you were done. Yes, true, Frog. The subjects I disliked were less about the subject itself and more about the way the teacher taught it.
Yes.
I have that, and also the inverse. Like, there's nothing inherent about physics, chemistry, or biology that's interesting to me, but I had the best science teacher who just got how my brain worked. I think I've told this story on stream before, but I'll tell it again because it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite things in the sciences was the structure of atoms. Like, how you can do those, like, diagrams and work out how molecules combine to make different elements, basically. And one time my teacher put up a bunch of different elemental combinations, and we basically had to work out how to get to them or something like that. And I was on a table of people who were much smarter than me, who were all my friends, but much smarter than me. And I was doing these diagrams to, like, work it out, and the people on the table were lightheartedly making fun of me, because instead of doing, like, the simplified one, I had to draw out the full diagram every time, and it would take up, like, half an A4 page. So I was going through pages and pages trying to work this out, and people on the table were kind of making fun a little bit, because I had just quietly sped through all the questions, and I was on, like, the hard ones, like the extra bonus point ones. And my teacher came over and was like, "What's going on over here?" And they were going through their stuff, and then came around to me. And he was like, "Oh, you're on, like, a way later question than these guys." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just sort of put my head down and went through them, but I really can't get this one. It's really annoying me, and I've been through, like, 8 pages trying to work it out." And they were kind of, we were on friendly terms with this teacher, so we were just like, yeah, you know, like, it's gonna take up the rest of her book. And he was like, "No, it's okay." So he pushed my book to one side and a couple of my friends' books, pulled out a whiteboard marker, and just started drawing out on the table.
Oh,
like,
okay.
on the surface of the table. Just was like, "Okay, where you at with this?" And then, so he gave me the marker, and I was like, "I think this, this, and this." And he kind of wiped one of the things off and was like, "Nope." And we, like, ended up drawing on half the table. And we got there in the end, and he was like, "You have a really good grasp on this, and also that way we've just saved your book." And I was like, "Are you going to get in trouble for drawing on the table?" And he said, "Absolutely yes."
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
They were like, "Well, why did you do?" The people on the table were like, "Well, then why did you do it?" He said, "Because I'm exactly the same way. If I don't see it in front of me, I can't make any sense of it."
Brilliant. Yeah, that's someone who just knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, I mean, exactly. I think almost exactly the same, really. Like, I did really well at the sciences because there was what we would always call the practicals.
Yeah.
Which was when you could physically do stuff, and being able to physically do stuff, I would be fine with, like, the actual doing the experiments, and, you know, obviously you write it down as you go, but, like, physically doing it was like, well, it helped it lodge in my brain a little bit more. So, which is why I did better at those kinds of things. Whereas, to list the key examples that keep being brought up, maths and history, maths especially, a lot of the maths teachers that I had were very unsympathetic. One of them in particular was notorious in the school as being potentially the worst teacher in the school.
Always was math teachers. That was also the case in mine.
And if you couldn't do the math, a lot of them were very unsympathetic. You know, their response would be like, it would literally be like, you know, "It's not hard, do it properly." And it's like, that's not teaching somebody.
That doesn't help me.
That doesn't help me. Telling me to do it faster isn't helping me learn how to do it. And the fact that I'm doing it slower than literally everybody in the class clearly indicates that my brain is not picking up what you're putting down. No. And you getting mad at me for it is not going to help me learn your topic. Which is the same with history teacher, because the history teachers that I so often had would just be like, "I'm going to talk at you for the next hour and you need to make notes." And I was like, "Cool, this is time for the brain to shut off."
See, that was perfect for me.
Yeah.
But, no, yeah, I had really terrible maths teachers. I'm going to stick to trying to tell wholesome teacher stories. Because teachers have a bad time. And good teachers make all the difference. But I remember I jumped around math sets like nobody's business, but I kept having this issue where, because my scores across the board were pretty high, I kept getting put in top set sounds like this is a good thing, but I kept getting put in top set everything, including maths, even though my math scores were significantly worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when I got to year 10, which is when you start doing exams. Oh no, year 9, sorry. When you start doing exams in the UK. We in the first like 2 weeks, and I'd had some really terrible math teachers over the years, really bad. We did a mock test just so she could place where we were, and she was a TA at this point, I think. Actually, I don't even think she was a full, like, she was still doing her qualification. She was like, we're just gonna do a mock to see where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first time ever doing a 100-point test, and I was in the top set, and I got 4 of 100.
Ooh.
And it was an astoundingly bad score.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so like, I couldn't even process it when she gave it back to me. And I remember just like looking at it and staring at it and being completely dumbfounded. And I don't know, to this day, I don't know what went through her head that meant she did not move me from the set. What she did was she kept me in the set for the next 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she just gave me slightly easier versions of what she was setting the rest of the class, or she would come and sit with me and talk through it. But if it was clear I just was not gonna get it, she would let me just chill.
Aww.
She would just let me chill out.
Aww.
Because the stuff that I did get, I got. And it was much easier to correct me on the stuff that I really got it, but I was just doing it wrong, than it was to get me to understand something I was just never going to get. But she didn't move me down a set, because at least in the set I was in, everyone was like concentrating on the work, and that was a way better environment for me than going down a set, being with a bunch of people I didn't know, and being in a bit more of like a rowdy space.
Right. Yeah. See, I got moved down a set.
And that's the only reason I passed maths. Because yeah. Oh, barely. I got a C. But yeah, there was no way before that.
You're so blessed that you had a teacher like that.
Yeah, well, literally every teacher I'd had before that was absolutely awful to me.
Aww.
Yes, teachers who have like fun ways to get you to remember things are just the best.
Yeah.
And also teachers that like are aware of how absurd the whole situation is. That was always fun. See, I had a God bless my geography teacher. She knew I love rock and encouraged me so much. Same as English teacher. Yeah, for all my bad luck with math teachers, as you might be able to guess from the everything about me, I had incredible luck with English teachers. But yeah, I had a bad geography teacher, but I had a great history teacher. So pits and troughs. But this is where I differ from you, Blue, because I got on a lot better in subjects where the teacher just kind of left me to do work and I just had to do it. Like,
right.
the more hands off a teacher was, and the less I had to do outside of just like having a list of things to do or just like having something to take notes on, the happier I was. Because I would tend to, if I had just had like a sheet of work to do, my brain was like, well, if you finish this really fast, then you get to zone out for the rest of the class. Which teachers fucking love that if you do that shit. Because I would get...
Does it freak anyone else out thinking of their teachers and realising they were probably younger than you are now?
Yep, because I went to college with people who now teach, like, secondary school.
How do you think I feel? My brother is a teacher now. And
Yeah,
I'm like, you shouldn't be in charge of kids.
I could be a teacher by now if I had just slightly done things differently.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Blimey.
I'd be a terrible teacher.
There's a small part of me that thinks maybe I could have been an okay teacher, but that I need to know the stuff that I'm teaching. It's less that it's not. Yeah. Like I feel like I could be somewhat okay at passing my knowledge to people, but I don't have that initial knowledge. I feel like I would get the technique. I'll behave.
Good. Thanks, Core.
More memes.
Frog, that's so cute.
Oh my goodness, do a spin!
That is very good.
Blessed. It has cheered everybody up for thinking about their shitty teachers.
Yeah. But yeah, good teachers. Shout out to good teachers, man.
Yeah.
You really saved
Yeah.
saved subjects for people.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, you can very much mark that any subject that I really liked the teacher in definitely were the subjects I scored well in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, my favorite teachers were like my biology teachers and my geography teachers. I genuinely liked them and you know was happy doing the work and I would do well in them. But the classes I did bad in, like chemistry and maths, I said I hate the lesson and I also hated the teacher.
Yep. Amen.
I woke from my nap, went, Stacey, I want minis.
I believe that.
That's how they get them, boys.
But yeah. On the off chance anyone here is, you know, still in compulsory schooling who is lurking, Godspeed. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For anyone wondering why there's a lack of things happening on the screen, I'm reading some documentation for basically what the next stage of what I'm going to do is, because I think the actual model itself is potentially done. So the next bit, which will probably mostly be done tomorrow, as I said, I'm just sort of like refreshing myself on it at the moment, is making it so that when the character moves, the outfit moves as well. And I'm basically reading a refresher on it. Which is why there's not a lot happening on the screen at the moment. And I'm also, what I am going to do is I'm going to save that there and I'm going to do an increment save so I can roll back. Look at that, version 10. Version 10.
Fucking scientists. I need to look and see if Hank Green's done a TikTok on this.
Oh no.
Thank you for lurking, Paku.
Hi Paco, we love you.
Yes, I'm trying to get a straight answer on something you would think is a very simple question. But no.
That's
We
always
have
how
to
it
talk
goes,
about
though.
we have to talk about fucking solubility levels and salency.
Oh god, I haven't heard the phrase the salency of water in so long.
The only reason I have is
remember
because I have to
doing
use it to
saline
disinfect my ear.
tests.
Yep, uh-huh. Okay, but does it... I'm sweating. Okay, so the part of it sinks. That's the one answer I didn't want. Cause are you writing OCART? I am writing a thing that will eventually be up for OCART, yeah. The fuck are you doing that involves this Breaking Bad shit?
Oh,
I'm a
Daz,
writer,
what?
not a serial killer.
Daz, what in OCART could possibly the salency of water be referring to?
Salency means saltiness.
It's saltiness,
people-
by the way. Like, you know, ocean
genuinely
water.
don't know.
Cursed with science knowledge.
If I confront her, I might stall her. I'll just do it off stream.
Look, as my friend, I'm obligated to call you out. Okay, so that one is yellow and that one is orange, okay?
The worst thing is, I'm gonna, like, this will become relevant and you're gonna immediately be able to go, that's what you were Googling that for.
Ah. Sink or swim, baby.
Does it? Does it sink?
Does it sink or swim? I know, that's why you want to know about the Salem Sea of Water, because why else would you? Does it sink or swim? You're talking to the person who researches the buoyancy of birds.
It's true. Don't worry, Frog. I'm more than happy to cut corners. Unfortunately, this isn't like a world building thing. It's more just like a detail of a situation that I need. And I literally just need to know if like this very common thing would react a certain way. I'm trying to talk so vaguely about this. That's not really possible in this exact idea, but thank you, Daz. I almost want to screenshot this so that when you guys know what this is about, I can be like, now you see why I found this funny.
Fair. This is a dilemma.
I can't believe I'm seeing Panic.
More
Sorry, I'm listening to Panic, and I was just like, holy shit, that's next week. It's been like a far-off dream for months. Yeah, the Dead Sea. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yes. Oof, the amount of time I'm spending in the Blender documentation.
How it
Oh,
goes.
it got moved. That's why.
Do I dare say that Kel's getting salty about Salem Sea? Ayy.
Hey.
God, the amount of times I've had to catch myself writing the word humanity. Yeah, you can. If people haven't been here when I've been working on writing projects, it is a lot of typing ASMR. You're welcome. Keyboard ASMR. The amount of keyboard ASMR I've listened to in my life is truly unhinged.
Yes, we like the tippy tappy.
Yeah. I like it when I'm working. It makes me feel like I'm in a library.
Yeah,
Like a
same.
uni library.
I like my clicky keyboard as well.
But I will like, if I'm working on something, I will open keyboard, just like no talking keyboard ASMR. So that it feels like I'm in a space with other people working. Because I often work on my own. Helps me feel productive. I also like getting those things where it makes it sound like a typewriter. I miss my typewriter.
Oh.
I like a good fireplace video when I'm working. Yes. One of these days, I'm going to out of the blue tweet a whole thread of like, open these 3 videos at the same time, depending on what you're doing to that day. It's like, you're having a relaxing day. These are the layered sounds that you want. Because I've gotten so good at knowing where to look for certain, like, because I always have like 4 different audio sources going, and I've gotten so good at like balancing them until they're like really nice. Cafe sounds are lit. Cafe sounds with lo-fi. White noise, I have to be in a very specific like, I can't have white noise being the only sound.
Yeah,
I'm
not a big white noise person, I'll be
if
honest.
the other sounds I'm listening to are not at the right level of like stuff going on, I can put white noise behind it to make it reach that level. Does that make sense?
I can get why, but I personally don't really like white noise, even if it's with other stuff. However, things like I think for me, it's again going back to how I did well in biology and geography and all that. I quite like natural sounds, so leaves rustling, rain, running water like streams is I'm a big fan of. Ocean I don't mind, but I definitely prefer like a stream over an ocean.
I'm the other way around.
Wind, birds chirping, obviously. Yeah. So I think things like
maybe
that.
I'll do this thread tomorrow because we're talking about it today. Because I know a lot of like ambient noise mixes and things like that.
Yeah, I should use Noisely again.
Noisely's gotten worse.
Oh, has it? Won't bother then.
Noisely has gotten. You're better off just using YouTube.
Fair enough.
I suppose if you don't want to have the distraction of having YouTube open, Noisely probably works. There's also another one that's similar to Noisely that I now can't remember the name of. Is it My Noise? My Noise was also good. Yes, this is also a good one I've used. Singing bowls. Oh my god. I've been listening to so many singing bowls recently. I know that's a weird thing to say, but singing bowls is the right like white noise isn't quite. I'd rather go singing bowls than white noise. It's the right kind of like droning noise for me. Is this the most neurodivergent conversation we've had on stream?
Maybe talking about our favorite ASMR sounds, potentially, yes.
Or just like how we have to layer sounds to do things. Yeah, I will say, chat, if people want a recommendation, I've definitely people who've hung out with me in real life know about this channel because I didn't give them a choice. Because every time it's like, oh, we need just like ambient sound, I'm like, oh boy, I've got the thing for you. So if I forget about doing this thread, I'll at least give you guys fucking. Where are you? It's called Terra Vibe. This shit is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone seen the long aquarium videos? Moon jellyfish.
Moon jellies!
Every time, for a while, oh god, was it like at the end of a long day with Miyu and Nerwin, I want to say?
Yes, I believe Nerwin was with us.
One time we were like really tired and we were in Blue's living room and the TV was there and it was on YouTube and I just put on the live stream of the moon jellies and we legit sat there just watching the jellyfish live stream.
Yep. Vibes
and then
were immaculate.
Yep. I want to fucking put that on right now.
Ooh, we got stray verts, which is why we have to go and do our weight painting manually.
Live moon jelly cam. Give me the moon jellies. Monterey Bay Aquarium. That's it. Jellyfish are so cool. I don't think we as a society talk about how dope jellyfish are enough.
Loxton did recently. They were doing a video about the freaking toad scroll, toad school tentacle thing. And they were like, it's time to talk about jellyfish!
Yes! Thank you for the bit, for the jelly, for the love for the moon jellies. People, I suppose, hang on. Okay, I've put Terra Vibe in chat, which I do recommend for people who like ambient noise, and here is the moon jelly live stream if anyone wants like to stare at for the next 3 hours. Jellyfish are just sick. I think they're very cool. Also, I see a lot of people who've got jellyfish tattoos, and they are also sick.
Mm.
I just love them. I've also realized in watching this live stream again that this is almost definitely what the jellyfish summon in Elden Ring's based off of, is moon jellies, which makes a lot of sense.
What was that?
I hit my laptop. I'm sorry, Abria. Where is my dog? That's what I want to know.
Where's the baby?
My dad came in a while ago. That's what I had to mute for a second. Because she came up here and went to sleep, but she hasn't gone out for a week yet. So we were like, you can't go to the toilet in here. So she went out, and then I haven't seen her. So she's probably gone and got cozy on the settee and then... But yeah, she was very funny last night. She wanted cuddles so bad. I also had to bath her yesterday.
Aww.
Because, oh my god, I didn't tell you about this. This was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Like 2 days? Yeah, 2 days ago. It was somewhere in my immortality hyperfixation. My brother came in and was like, hey, it's a really lovely day out. Do you want to go for a walk? I was like, okay. Because my brother doesn't do that. Because my brother was feeling guilty about not going out considering it was such a lovely day. And I was also feeling guilty about not going out. I live vicariously through your papa. You're welcome to. Phoebe loves you all very much. But he was like, yeah, we can take the dog. We can take the dog. Why not? So we took her on our usual route. And there's a way that my usual route can actually go further through the forest. And my brother was like, we were literally mid-conversation about feeling this like sense of exploration or whatever. So it was like, yeah, let's just go the rest of the route. You haven't done it before. Let's just do it. And we went over this hill. And Phoebe was off the lead for a little. We were in like an enclosed area. So we were like, oh, I'll let her run around in here. And then normally I'd just turn around and go back. But we'll do the full loop. And we were walking up to the bit where I would have to put her back on the lead because there were deer and things about. And by God, were there deer. And we literally walked down over the hill. We were talking to each other. I was keeping half an eye on Phoebe. And I just heard this splash noise. And I was like,
Springers!
Oh, Springer Spaniels.
Springers!
And I looked around and I was like, truly where? Because it hadn't rained. There's no bodies of water within range. We're in a field. Like, truly how? And I turned and basically there was a small area where a like tractor or some kind of farming vehicle had gone through and it had made like tracks where the tires were.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was much deeper than the others and had made like a little puddle that was decently deep. And so obviously being half Springer Spaniel, Phoebe's an absolute heart and soul blood instinct was to submerge herself in this puddle of just absolute mud.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my brother just stood there, just like, yep, this is how this goes. I really thought we'd gotten around this one. We planned so carefully so that they wouldn't happen, but we were like, no, this is how this was gonna go.
Yep.
And she was so happy.
Oh, of course she is.
Happiest dog. But she was literally, for people who have never seen her somehow, she's a white dog. It's just brown to the shoulders. And then I had to put her back on the lead. We did the rest of the walk. She did nearly, about halfway around, there was a part that had flooded a little bit and someone had put a board to walk across.
Child!
And she like ran after something and nearly pulled me into the water. Like I nearly like lost my footing and went over. Which would have been another funny element of the day. But yeah, basically we like hosed her off when she came back, which is pretty normal for Phoebe. We just kind of put the hose pipe on loose and give her a little hose down because she's double coated anyway.
A little spritz.
But when I tried to go in bed, she was sleeping over there on her little chair. She smelled so bad.
Oh no.
I was like lying in bed. Like this was ages after we'd washed her and everything. And I was in bed and I was like, I can still smell Phoebe, so I'm gonna have to give her a bath tomorrow. So I woke up super early, put her in the bath, and for a dog who loves water so much, boy does she not like the bath.
Oh yes, that's always how it goes. Just gonna nestle down there, or are you gonna like wriggle around and complain?
She's gonna do whatever's the most inconvenient for you. But yeah, she's very clean. Her fur is so smooth right now.
Aww.
But she was extremely cuddly, to the point of active inconvenience. But I didn't care. Oh, this was the other thing I was saving. I'm remembering it all. It's all coming back. So, as I said, next week I am not here because I am at Panic at the Disco. But I have to crash that night at my sister's house. Because I can't we'll get in at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I won't be able to get back here right away. And I will need sleep. And water, famously.
Yes.
Just like 3 gallons of water. But we like made all these plans, and then about 10 minutes later Vicky texts me and says, oh shit, I forgot. We have 2 cats now. Are you going to be okay with that? Or do you need somewhere else to stay? Because the last time me and Vicky hung out was before you and my brother house trained me.
Oh,
with
right.
cats.
Before
She's
you were
used
good
to-
with cats.
She's used to me, and it's her cats that I was really bad with. So like her old cats, not her current cats. Because she had a demon cat called Autumn. She has a demon cat called Autumn. It just lives with her parents. And it is a nightmare and hates me. And that's where a lot of my like anxiety about cats came from.
Right.
She was legit like, you can stay, like we can work out somewhere else for you to stay, like it'll be fine, like we can keep them in with us. And I was like, I have good news.
Yay!
I have good news. Between Blue and my brother, I have been desensitized to cats.
Let's talk about
I
you,
will probably be
Sadie.
fine.
Let's talk about you and your beans.
Cat development. Yeah.
Cat development.
She has 2 cats. Chat will ask. She has 2 cats. They're called Marshmallow and Bonbon. They look.
I've been seeing them on Twitter.
Yeah, they look exactly the same. They are pure white cats, apart from one of them has got upright ears and one of them's got fold ears. Apparently, one of them's a cuddle and one of them's a demon. If I had to put money on it, I think Marshmallow's the cuddler and Bonbon's the demon.
You flip-flop between the 2, don't you, Sadie?
Depending on what she feels. But she was like, oh, great.
Yay!
I'm glad for you. Because Vicky's had to put up her whole life. She's dealt with me. She's such a cat person. Her whole life, she's had to deal with me, the most dog person, being like, every time I go around her house, being like, your cat's in? Like, really nervous. Cat exposure therapy. It literally was, though.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke.
It's
That's
like,
just
you're
the
gonna
truth.
stay at mine for the next 3 days. Also, I have a cat, so deal with it, I guess. She's an old lady and she won't hurt you unless you're Kay, apparently.
That's because I threw her at him.
Yes. It was literally not Sadie's fault. Because not only did you throw her at him, he did not react.
No.
Whereas normally if someone goes to put a cat on you, you would, you know, move your arms and try to, like, hold the cat, but he just kept his arms folded. So of course she tried to grab onto him to have something stable, because she probably felt that she was gonna fall. Poor thing.
This is Bonbon, because I know people are gonna ask.
Aww.
With the little fold ears.
I sent you a picture of Sadie because she's very... I'm sat cross-legged
Thank
in my
you.
chair at the moment, and she's, like, nestled in
Here's a
my
video
lap.
of Bonbon not knowing how to play with a toy, so it's just repeatedly hitting her in the face.
Yep. Cats. Mm-hmm.
There's Marshmallow. There we go, this will work. And that's Marshmallow.
Aww. The grasp. You do that, don't you, Sadie? Yep, she literally did it as soon as I sort of put my hand up to her chin. And she was like, hold. Must hold.
But yeah, I want to cuddle them. Haha! I get to cuddle them and you do not.
Ah.
I will send pics if I remember, which I won't.
Yes, excellent.
Because I will be too tired.
Enjoy the Sadie pic.
Thank you, I did enjoy it.
She's just kind of just sat there. I think she's partially like comfy, but also partially slightly stuck. In the just like, I don't really know how to get out of this. She's just in the. I can show stream actually. It's
easier for me to show stream than you.
She's nestled in the divot. There you go. She's nestled in like the divot of my lap, with her beans on show.
Full bean exposure.
Do you want to get up now? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, I'm getting it. There we go. Oh, always the complaint. You're so
Big
much warmer
wow.
now. You're so much
Toasty.
warmer. She's very upset because her bed has been temporarily unplugged. Because my car battery fully died.
Oh boy.
So my dad came round at the weekend and bought the battery recharger that he owns. So my car battery is just in a cordoned off section of this room, on charge. And obviously we had to unplug from the plug in order to charge it. And so Sadie's bed is no longer heated. Which is a shame, because she's only got another bed that has a heated mat on it that she refuses to use.
I was gonna say.
I know, this poor child now only has one heated bed.
Potentially the most spoiled cat in existence.
This poor child only has one heated bed instead of
She's
two.
impoverished.
Yeah, and she's literally losing clumps of fur because spring is coming and she's having a blowout. Her coat is blowing out. It's literally coming off her in clumps because it's like, oh, this is my winter coat. I don't need this anymore. It's just coming off in chunks.
Yeah.
I'm just like literally I can look at her and see like patches of her fur that look slightly longer, and if you literally just sort of like gently pinch it, it just comes away.
That was my favorite part about when I had a short-haired dog. when I had Rox, because Rocky had that where like he would get like the fluff and then he would just slightly pet him and literally just like a huge section of fur would just slide off. It's like, what? It is nearly 11. Where did that go?
Oh boy, where did it go indeed?
I was talking too much shit, I think.
I am on the final section of this though, really, which is cool.
Final
So maybe I could get it done this week. Like, it's not going to get done tonight. When I say final section, this isn't like if I push for another half hour, I could get it done. It's like, no, this is still several hours of work, but it's enough hours of work that it could potentially be done in a day. That this is me knocking on wood, because obviously, as has been exemplified with the Kobold model, just because something is all good and working and in line in Blender, doesn't mean it will be once you get it into Unity.
Nope. I think one thing I am actually going to do this week is sit down and work out how many streams of Dragon Age I think we have left.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's a significant number, I should say. But I think it's like I can break it down in my head. We're in a big section though. Hope y'all like dwarves. We're gonna be here a while.
Yeah. Also, I'm probably going to need reminding tomorrow because obviously, frankly, because Wednesday is the double day, my morning tends to just vanish. It is literally marked down on my schedule as like quote unquote free time. you guys know I don't have free time. I'll be
No.
like doing
It's,
stuff.
it's
around the
pre-stream prep.
Yeah, it's pre-stream flat. I'll be sorting out VODs because a lot of VODs got set to upload, so they'll be processing overnight. So keep an eye on your YouTube inbox because you'll get a bunch of streams being uploaded tomorrow.
You
and stuff
put
like
up the Pokemon?
that. Yeah, I think I will. I believe you can because other people do.
No, did you?
I will be. It's being processed right now.
No, the Pokemon Coliseum.
Oh no, it's not gone live. That was a private screening for basically a handful of people for me to be like, hey, are there any bugs in this that I missed? So that'll get publicly announced tomorrow. Hey guys, another Pokemon Coliseum episode is going to go live tomorrow. So that's another thing that'll happen in the morning. So at some point between the art stream and the Dragon Age stream, I need to catch up Dragon Age because the game crashed in the last 15 minutes.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the game crashed in the last 15 minutes of the stream last week.
I was about to say, I'll do it. What?
I'll do it! Sure, just come on down.
I'll just wire into your PC from here.
Yeah, so I need, you know, a bit of time in between me doing the art stream and me starting the Dragon Age evening stream to try to roughly get up to where we were.
And just speed run.
Yeah, because basically I think I last saved sort of when we got into Orzammar, so basically I need to run around and collect all of the quests.
It depends when it last auto-saved. It probably auto-saved after the Balin, fight. The Balin argument, I should say.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, join us tomorrow for more Orzammar. It will be a ride. Also, the part of the game I remember potentially the least amount of, so. Always fun to go into the unknown, as it were.
Maybe I should just subtract the whole thing.
Listening to this Moon Jelly live stream has been me sleepy.
That is kind of what it's meant to do.
Yeah. It is the end of the stream anyway. Completed domino head terms. Frog is productive. Frog is always very productive.
Yes, Frog's extremely productive. I get jealous of Frog's productivity. I have to schedule my productivity.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Aww. Little smiley face, cutie. Right, how does this look with it turned?
So we gotta end the stream.
Just seeing
I'm
how
tired.
it looks.
I'm taking off my 85 necklaces.
Good. Like,
Is it a Phoebe?
There's a tiny amount there.
Is it Phoebe? Come here. Hi, baby.
Baby!
Phoebe's here. Phoebe's here. Big jump, baby. Don't do it if you're not feeling ready. She's here. She's arrived.
Aww.
I'll turn around and Frog will have designed 600 Blawbows, crocheted a house, and made a good soup. It blows my mind. Why is that so real,
soup.
though?
It's so real.
That's real Frog. That's real Frog tea right there. Oh my god, Phoebe. I gave Phoebe a kiss earlier and she still has lipstick on her nose. Rick, give her a kiss. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. There she is.
Baby! There she is.
Everyone say goodnight to the baby.
Night, baby.
She's hiding from you all. Make it better or worse. There we go. Everyone say goodnight to Phoebe right now.
Good night, Phoebe. We love you.
She's cleaning her leg. You don't need to see that.
You get too tired to clean. Oh.
There she goes.
Aww.
Her eyes are so red. She clearly just woke up to come up here. And then...
Aww. She's like, it's sleepy time. I need to be up here.
She's doing the thing where she uses her teddy bear as a pillow.
Blessed.
Thank you everyone for saying goodnight and sweet dreams to Phoebe. It's very appreciated.
Okay, that's the general idea.
Hello.
That's all it needed. All of that was all it needed. A little splodge there, because the general gist is like, well, when you move your hand, it's
This
like
art is cursed.
it's not gonna move. It's not really gonna move, but like if it goes in on itself like that, it's gonna move a little bit because it's being pushed in. But otherwise, it doesn't really move a whole lot. So that was like all it really needed. It's finicky. It's finicky.
Right. Gotta end the stream, Blue. I'm tired.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Hey, I can do
Yep.
the fancy thing because I put it over here now. Woo! Bye, Curls. I don't have your camera on this screen. I'm sorry.
Fuck you! I am the voice from behind the overlay.
You're
I'm
excused.
gonna be here tomorrow also
Yeah.
in the evening, not
Yeah.
in the afternoon. That's Blue's time for herself. I will be here in the afternoon. I will not be here next week
Yes.
for art stream.
Yes.
It will either be someone else or no one.
It will either be someone else or no one. We
I will
shall
be
see.
back for
We'll
Dragon
actually
Age
need to
next
find out.
week, but I will be very tired and probably have no voice.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to be continuing this tomorrow. I'm going to be doing weight painting, which is a very arduous task.
So be there to entertain Blue.
Yes, and talk to me about things so that I don't want to die slightly. But yeah, we're getting close to getting this thing done, which is very exciting. Yeah, at some point I'm going to have to get it into Unity, which is terrifying. So I'll see you tomorrow. And have a very good night, everybody. Sleep well. I love you loads. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye!